Back in beautiful British Columbia for another match in the Canadian Premier League. Match week 13, and Pacific hosting their most familiar foe for a 23rd time all-time across CPL, Canadian Championship, and playoff competitions here in the Canadian Premier League. It is Tommy Wheeldon Jr.'s Cavalry who come into this match with a chance to go second and try and close the gap to the top. As it stands, each of these sides 12 matches in the bank, nearing the midway mark, but 7 points separate the two clubs. However, Cavalry has played Pacific oh so tight, and this is the last time that Cavalry will need to make this trip over the Rockies and land here on Vancouver Island. The third meeting of the season, including the Canadian Championship, and another beautiful night on Van Isle. 21 degrees and sunny. To set you up for the match, we of course have to look to the past first. And as I say, good evening, Will Cromack. We remind ourselves of Pacific and Atletico Ottawa. A bright start for PFC, but it was Sam Salter who would get the Capital Club on the board first.
Salter with salt in the wounds. Yeah, this was a big moment for them.
And it looked like it was going to be 1-0 for Atletico Ottawa heading into halftime. But au contraire, said Thomas Meyer-Jaguer, his first regular season goal for Pacific late in first half stoppage time. It would make it a 1-1 game. And then just a few minutes later, of course, after halftime, they would add another. Not to be denied, though, Ollie Bassett, who scores against Kieran Baskett, who was yapping at him, saying his former teammate Sam Salter should have taken the pen. But Ollie would tie the game. Pacific a chance to win it in the 85th. Josh Hurd, the captain, denied from the spot by Nate Ingham. It would end as a 2-2 draw. For Cavalry, Will, their last game at IG Field on Canada Day, and at the stroke of 6 minutes, Meyer Bevan, his league-leading 7th goal of the year, and Gauthier Antigny made us both laugh in disbelief with this move.
Incredible. This guy has everything.
Speed for days, the layoff pass to Camargo, and oops. Unfortunately for Sergio, that one is not leaving the highlight reel. A chance to make it 2-0, and that could have proved costly. Yardi Ulloa somehow does not score from a yard away from goal, and it would cost Valor the insurance marker, courtesy of Ben Fisk, coming in off the bench as a substitute, and Ben would get that helper to make it 2-0, and for Mr. Fisk, he would move into a tie for 5th all-time in CPL assists. Here is how the table looks. I told you of the 7-point margin between Pacific at the top and Cavalry. They are clear of York United by 5 points. Pacific are 6 of Forge with 2 matches in hand on each of these two opponents. The Halifax Wanderers letting an opportunity slip last night in Langley. They could have jumped over Cavalry for 4th in the table, but alas, that first loss in quite some time for the Wanderers. Valor, Vancouver, and Ottawa in that order make up 6 through 8. We'll introduce you to the teams and begin with James Merriman and Pacific in his 4-3-3. That will likely play a bit more as a 4-2-3-1 today, mindful of the speed on the wings. Ayman Salouf and Josh Hurd, the wingers. Adonijah Reed will start as the number 10 behind Janairo Daniels. That could be a fun combo up top. Manny Aparicio and Cedric Toussaint, the latter, back from a yellow card accumulation suspension. And across the back, a couple of big names. We'll talk about one in a moment, but let's first start with Ayman Salouf here, Will. The player of the month for the month of June, 8 goal contributions this season.
He's the reason you buy tickets. Come out, this guy can go both ways. Deceptive on left foot, right foot. He can strike the ball, he can create. Just love watching him.
He's been absolutely lights out. 4 goals, 4 assists. The second of those 2 stats that is tied for the league lead. For Thomas Meyer-Jaguer, we showed you his goal in the last match, but really doing a great job along with Amir Didic, Will, preventing goals from going in. 11 goals conceded for Pacific, the fewest in the CPL.
Listen, I'm going to make a statement here, but this is arguably, one of the top 2-3 guys in the league defensively. He is very difficult to beat, covers a ton of ground. Obviously, he helps in the build, but this guy is an absolute leader and a beast defensively.
And for Thomas, this is his 11th start of the season. Tommy Wheeldon Jr., he only makes 1 change to his team, also in a 4-2-3-1. Charlie Trafford misses out today due to yellow card accumulation, so Eric Kobsa slides to take his spot in the defensive midfield position. That brings Udoka Chima into the team. Shamit Shom, you'll see his name on the right side of your screen. He is back from an LCL strain, available as a substitution. He is there on the bench with Beckford, Fisk, Mason, Michael Harms, and Gareth Smith-Doyle. Callum Montgomery, we're told, just a couple of weeks away as Cavalry get fitter and fitter. We'll start with their captain, Will. Our players to watch. Marco Carducci has played every minute for them this season. 2 clean sheets, 28 saves, and a true leader for this team.
Yeah, listen, he is Calgary's leader. He has absolutely made Calgary home. The fans love him. Beautiful with his feet. He can play both ways. Obviously, he's a great goaltender, but that ability to build is what I think makes him such a fantastic keeper.
And before the season, it was announced that Marco Carducci not going anywhere anytime soon, having been extended 3 years. And let's talk about Gauthier Intigny for what he has been doing, and that is making himself a mainstay on the wing. Super speedy. We saw that, 2 goals and an assist in what is 6 starts now, Will.
Yeah, everybody always knows his speed, but honestly, this guy is technical. They're so high on him. He can go both ways, just like Salouf. I really love what he brings to the table, and you have to be scared of him. So you back defenders off, and that just gives space for others.
Well, at the moment, very much in the conversation, if not the favorite to win the U21 Canadian Player of the Year, Mr. Intigny. Can he score in 3 consecutive goals? That is the question that Tommy Wheeldon Jr. will be asking himself today. Kickoff between Pacific and Cavalry, about 10 minutes away. Stay with us.
Hey, so Mom's thing's coming up. Should we book flights?
Let's do it.
Oh, there's an early flight. We'll be there by lunch.
Speech.
Or the later one?
What if we went the day before?
Sure. Stuff these up.
Yeah, I'd go for this one.
Oh, perfect.
Be there when it counts. With over 500 flights every single day, we have a flight for that.
Hey, so Mom's thing's coming up. Should we book flights?
Let's do it.
Oh, there's an early flight. We'll be there by lunch.
Speech.
Or the later one?
What if we went the day before?
Sure. Stuff these up.
Yeah, I'd go for this one.
Oh, perfect.
Be there when it counts. With over 500 flights every single day, we have a flight for that.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
We created Carlsberg 0-0 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean, one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
Welcome to the southern tip of Vancouver Island, the beautiful city of Victoria, the provincial capital of British Columbia, and just about 15 minutes to its west, the lovely little town of Langford. It is home to Starlight Stadium, which in turn is home to tonight's fixture between Pacific and Cavalry, match 53 of the Canadian Premier League season, with the league leaders wrapping up a homestand. 4 straight games here on Vancouver Island, and 4 of their next 5 will be on the road. They have just 1 defeat this season. It came here back against Forge. That was some time ago. In fact, it was the last time Pacific lost a game. Since then, 9 matches unbeaten. If James Merriman and his side can extend that to 10, it would be a club record. This is the 3rd meeting between the sides this season. One in the Canadian Championship that took penalties. The other, a 1-1 draw on April the 23rd. It was 2 games in the same week between these sides. Cavalry's last trip to Vancouver Island in the regular season. Team news and starting 11s when we return.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca. Volkswagen, the official automotive partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I hide away.
Hey, so Mom's thing's coming up. Should we book flights?
Let's do it.
Oh, there's an early flight. We'll be there by lunch.
Speech.
Or the later one?
What if we went the day before?
Sure. Stuff these up.
Yeah, I'd go for this one.
Oh, perfect.
Be there when it counts. With over 500 flights every single day, we have a flight for that.
WestJet is a proud sponsor of the Canadian Premier League.
It looks like we're headed towards
And many people's dreams of owning a home.
What's keeping you up at night?
I'm kind of stressed about my money situation.
It's stressful to talk about.
Oscar, come here.
Here's your financial stress companion.
She definitely helps.
It's never too late to start.
Good portfolio. I quit saving for my first down payment.
CIBC is a proud partner of the Canadian Premier League.
The second game of match week 13 in the Canadian Premier League sees us in British Columbia once again. Pacific hosting Cavalry, and then a long trip away from home will commence for these Tridents, who have been clinical at getting points right here at Starlight Stadium. We'll introduce you to the officials. First, Scott Bowman out of Milton, Ontario. The 35-year-old in his 4th appointment of the season has the whistle tonight. He was in charge of Pacific's 4-1 win here in Langford against York United and Cavalry's 1-1 draw against Forge back in Calgary. Jasmine Parr of Kelowna, Peter Penley of Richmond Hill. They will run the lines tonight. Momo Seni of North Vancouver, British Columbia, tonight's 4th official, as Josh Hurd and Marco Carducci take the coin toss. And Mr. Will Cromack, if you win the toss here, you are hoping to not pick the side with the sun in your eyes for the first 45 minutes of this game.
Yeah,
Introducing you to the teams next, and let's start with James Merriman and Pacific. They make 4 changes to their 4-3-3 today. Cedric Toussaint is back from a yellow card accumulation suspension. Gennaro Daniels replaces Easton Ungaro at the number 9. Josh Hurd into the right wing. Ayman Salouf to the left wing. And Adonijah Reed will start in behind at the number 10. Aparicio Toussaint, the more holding midfielders. Vliet, Jaguar, Didic, and Dadaluk, the back line that play in front of Kieran Basket this evening. And for Bradley Vliet, must be a bit of an interesting occasion for him tonight, playing against his former side in the first match of the Canadian Premier League that he had the chance to play against the Cavs. He was not in the team, so he gets to go against some familiar faces, and this side picked by Tommy Wheeldon Jr., finding its feet and finding a good run of form. Only one loss in their last 5 games. That includes 3 wins in their last 4. Try not to meddle too much with a system that is working very, very well. He elects to make just the one change out of necessity, with Charlie Trafford out for yellow card accumulation tonight. Eric Kobza slides to his spot beside Jesse Daly in the double pivot. Udoka Chima, comes in to play beside Dan Klomp. Camden, the left back, Aird, the right back. Intigny, Camargo, Mosi from left to right. They play in behind Meyer Bevan. Marco Carducci, as he has done, has the gloves tonight for every single minute for Cavalry this season. Should highlight Shamit Shom back on the bench for Pacific. A long absence for Shamit. His first season in Cavalry has been dealing with an LCL strain, has played only 169 minutes. We should expect to see him get some time. Mile Henry, who was transferred from Vancouver Football Club to Cavalry, not in the team, but he was their 19th man that traveled with the group as he nears his Cavalry debut. Kieran Baskett, he has played 7 of the 12 matches for Pacific, and he has taken the net from Emil Gazdoff and not looked back. He has not lost for Pacific. 4 wins, 3 draws, 3 clean sheets on the season thus far. The Cavs kick off first. They wear their chain strip this evening, the all black with the lightning bolts across the front of their chest. They work from right to left towards the east end of the stadium, and Kieran Baskett's goal. Pacific in their primary teals with the gold letters and numbers, as well as the accents around the collar and sleeves from left to right. They will work towards Mr. Carducci at the west end of Starlight Stadium. My name is Adam Jenkins. A big hello to those who may be joining us for the very first time on the One Soccer YouTube channel. It is premium and free content for you. Freemium tonight with the 2023 Gold Cup taking up the main channel for One Soccer. So nice to say hello to our potential new viewers this evening. Will Cromack, you and I have seen a lot of these teams lately, and both of them in an incredible run of form. So are we destined for yet another draw between these sides, or do you think we might have a winner?
Well, let's hope if this guy gets on the ball, we got something.
Oh, how about that from nothing? Stuck beside the corner flag, defended by Kunle Dadale. That would have been goal number 8 for Meyer Bevan in the CPL this season. Fast start for Cavalry, which would be exactly what the doctor would have ordered. Kieran Baskett had to be ready. Meyer Bevan, the Golden Boot leader in this league.
There's our guy right here, Intigny. Takes it early. Bevan has to finish that.
Swatted down by Baskett.
Very well getting there as well.
Vliet completely loses his man inside the 6-yard box, and maybe an early wake-up call.
Didn't
Pacific.
Pacific win the toss, and they chose to, I guess they're choosing to have their supporters to kick in towards on the second half. But interesting that they've chosen to have Baskett in the sun.
Our CIBC player spotlight tonight for Cavalry. The central midfielder Jesse Daly, 25 years of age, out of Brisbane, Australia. Tied for second in the Canadian Premier League with 24 tackles. This is his 10th start in his first season with the Cavs. Well, he had been tied for tackles, Jesse Daly. Tied for second in the CPL. He takes it from Brems tomorrow, moves into second. He's going to be very busy tonight, Will, especially with no Charlie Trafford in the team today.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Chima in at back, moves Kobza back into the midfield. But that's going to have Klomp looking to cover a lot to get the young man next to him comfortable and happy on the ball.
Eric Kobza in control now, playing it back to Carducci. 8 starts now for Cavalry in his rookie season as a pro out of North Van. So friends and family, if they make the ferry trip across, maybe they hop on a seaplane, whatever it takes to see their boy playing for these Cavs.
It's a big game for Calgary. 10 points is a big gap, and they want to be at the top of this table. It's something they haven't yet achieved. It's absolutely on their list to get into the Champions League spots. CONCACAF Champions League stuff is important for this club. They deserve to be there after the 5 years they put together. But it's absolutely critical for them to not let that gap go too far.
Nicely played by Manny Aparicio to win the ball away before a strike could be taken. Ali Musi still down on all fours, slow to his feet. And it's a good point you bring up with the fact that when they had won the regular season championship back in 2019, they had nothing to show for it. Back when it was the fall season for the spring season for 10 games, and then the rest of the 18 for the fall. They had to figure out who was going to go to CONCACAF League, and it was a whole deal very early back in 2019. But there's a trophy this year, and that's Champions League spot.
And rightly so. You know, we want to be taken seriously as a soccer nation. We've put together a quality league. We're growing. The winner of a long competition deserves to have a spot, and I love the fact that they've done that, along with obviously your plate and playoffs.
We saw James Merriman first. There's Tommy Wheeldon Jr. as well. Wednesday, it was announced that Pacific have extended James on a 3-year deal kicking in next year with 2 club options. He could be on Vancouver Island until 2029. He is also the Canadian Premier League leader, of course, and the side he has put together this year has been exceptional. Adonai Jareed lifts it high towards the 6, headed back across the face of goal. Meir Jaguar at the near post and all alone. Maybe, just maybe offside. That will bail him out, but otherwise a chance for a second goal in straight games.
Listen, this is not a hard tactic. Get it to Didic, and my goodness, is he offside? I don't know if he is or not, but he has absolutely gonna have nightmares about that one.
Chances fast and furious through 5 minutes. Sergio Camargo now starting the match more centrally. He had been out on the wing with Musi at the 10. Didn't work particularly well against Valor, and this seems like the more natural and best case for this group for Cavalry up top. Played with a lot of speed and in the air for Marco Carducci, who had no choice but to try and send it wide as fast as possible. Daniels left unattended, cutting it back to Reed. Over the bar.
Ooh, Calgary switching off there. That's not going to be something that is going to impress the coaching staff. Look at this, quick throw. Look at where Reed is. Maybe even a little quicker, and he can jump onto that from Daniels. That's good play by them, though. Switched on. This is a short field, but width is exactly the same as a normal field. And I think you'll notice if you go back to when Intigne has the ball, 4 Pacific players taking it very seriously on the cover. They know that he can get down the line quickly.
And DJ had sort of slipped in behind the Cavalry defensive unit for the throw, and he couldn't be offside, so I'm going to stand right here. Adonai Jareed noticed it, pointed, and a scoring opportunity out of it. Have to ask, it's been a couple of months now, which is hard to believe, but your memories from that Canadian Championship match, coaching here at Starlight Stadium and sending so many of the Swan Guardians over on the ferry to watch the game. Obviously not the result you were hoping for, but 2 matches in the Canadian Championship must have seemed like you were playing with house money.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible atmosphere, and I'll tell you what, a very professional crew. They water the field, they take everything really seriously there, which made it even more special for our players, get in it for, some for the first time. Wonderful atmosphere, great stadium. Like you said, that sun can certainly cause some problems.
SPF.
Yeah, but it was a special time despite the result.
We love those games in this industry because the storylines write themselves. You didn't have to look very far. Matteo Polisi, he's back at Starlight Stadium, and everything else that went with it, how thoroughly you guys were able to get past Valor in that opening leg. It's almost bittersweet how early the Canadian Championship happened this year because we don't have those storylines for the rest of the summer, and the dog days, are just around the corner.
Yeah, and those type of atmospheres, the crowd on both sides start to bring it because there's always something on the line. But hey, winner of a league, everything matters now.
And because of that foray into the Canadian Championship, this is match number 16 of the season for Pacific. Every single one up to their loss to the Whitecaps on the 24th of May had been at Starlight Stadium.
Here's a guy that everybody has to watch on Pacific. Again, that width naturally allows and wants for the fullbacks to get forward. So you got Intigne on the one side, you got a Dada Luke who's going to push forward. Didic always comes over to cover him.
Dispossessed by Fraser-Aird, settled down by Meyer-Bevan, and Camargo can't spring him. Goes for possession, doesn't force a pass that wasn't there.
This game is good technically so far. I've had a couple games lately where it's just been 5-7 minutes of craziness. Technically so far, everybody settled down here, playing their games.
Having a bit cooler temps will certainly make a big difference as well here on the turf. Moosey staved off momentarily by Vliet and then beats him the second time. Cross off of the defending Cedric Toussaint, out for a corner for the Cavs.
Well, it always helps when you're guys like Moosey and Salouf and Aparicio on the ball and showing their qualities. Camargo.
In-swinger from Moosey. Bevan trying to create that separation on Janeiro Daniels. Pacific able to clear, and Ayman Salouf unable to beat Fraser-Aird to the ball.
Well covered by Aird.
I was speaking to James Merriman this morning, checking in before the game. I asked him, A, how are you still playing home games? And B, this must be the easiest scout you've had for the season thus far, because there are no secrets after 3 hours of football between these two sides. He said, I think we've played Cavalry more than anyone else in the CPL. And I said, okay, let me make sure. I'm sure you're right, but let me actually crunch those numbers. 22 times, 4 in the Canadian Championship, the 21 semifinal. That is 5 more than any other opponent, which is Valor on 17. So you figure 124 matches now as a club for Pacific. 18% of them have been against Cavalry.
Easy to start hating.
Yes, very much so. We're still waiting for a little bit more of that feistiness in this fixture. 3 red cards all time in those 22 meetings. And that's not to say that without a red card, it's not feisty or scrappy, but it certainly does not have the same.
No, it certainly means something, each of these. I mean, you sort of leave a little bit in Canada. Stanley Cup, you know, the more these games go and go, there's always just everybody knows everything about each other. Although I will say that Calgary's showing up here with a flat 3 build with Fraser-Aird pushing high. So to try and some new things, because again, you got to show something different in order to beat them.
Just underneath the foot of Camargo, frustrated with the quality of that pass from the left back. It's back-to-back matches with a hockey reference for you, by the way. We had the stick on the ice tap in. Oh. It transcends the vocabulary here.
Culture, baby. Never a throw ball reference, though.
Reed turns the corner. Daniels back to Toussaint. Olakunle Dadaluk. Hurt. Deflects off of Intigny. Drifting back was Dan Klomp. Gatorade performance of the match in that win against Valor on Canada Day. Lead from Mayer Jaguar. Searching ball towards Daniels, leaps for it, off the side of his foot, hustles to the touchline, off of Chiman, tries to keep him away. And he indeed wins the throw.
See, Aird's gonna have to really be careful of Salouf, so he gets dragged out, and that offers a channel for Daniels to run into. So it's a pretty standard 4-2-3-1 out of possession for Cavalry, but that space does open up just because Salouf is so good.
Vliet, a missile into the box near the penalty mark. There's not a lot of real estate with which to work for the Pacific grounds crew, but they need to know when Vliet is on the field, those ad boards have to be further back for him. He wants his run up.
Well, I'll tell you what, coaching against that, you know, you have Angaro, Didic, you know, there's some big boys in there. Sean Young, and if you can throw it in like a corner, it's a real weapon. A nightmare.
James Merriman spoke to the quiet confidence in the team right now. how hard they've been working, saying there's a humble enough leadership group in our team to keep everybody's feet on the ground, knowing that it's still not halfway through the season. That's a crunching tackle from Didic on Bevan, sent him somersaulting through the air. Klopp a tackle on Daniels, who goes right up to the referee. He's never going to win that argument. Jesse Daly asking what he had done wrong. It was the first tackle.
I think
don't know where the ball was in that challenge.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a foul most leagues. And then the foul the other way, and then you can see what they're upset about if you don't give one, but you give the other. I think maybe Daly gets away with being a little aggressive with the ref there as well.
Both of them went right up and burst Mr. Bowman's bubble. And the follow-up challenge, so here comes Daly as Daniels steps on the ball. That's probably also what's got him feeling the cramp, though. He was too angry to recognize the cramp right away, apparently.
I'd like to see Reed getting into that hole there and getting on the ball. He hasn't touched it much other than an opportunity on net or off net, but towards goal. There you go.
Just like you asked. Salufin returning. Here's Reed. Turns around his man, but Jesse Daly takes away the space. Reed deemed to be a little bit late on the challenge attempt on the Aussie.
Exactly what we were just asking for. Link-up play. What is he not shooting for here? You have to unleash that. It's probably going to get a deflection of some kind. Can go anywhere. Link-up play was fantastic, though. Yeah, he seems a little upset with the fact he didn't take a shot.
Well, you'll recognize what a moment it would have been for him. A goal and 3 assists for Adonijah. Just his 7th start of the season. It's been a heavily rotated side from James Merriman, also benefiting from that lack of travel to this point in the season. Very different looks that Pacific can field up top.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you'll see at a certain point in the game, Reed will pop up next to Daniels defensively, and they'll almost end up in a 4-4-2. They've used it a few times. It seems to work well, especially again with a tight field. So I think Merriman's doing a good job of using the field to his benefit and coaching towards that as well.
Nice control from Hurd. Works a bit more towards the center. Aparicio. Instead, the cross goes in. Dadaluk wanted Daniels. Toussaint right up against Meyer Bevan.
I think something that is unheralded for Bevan is his hold-up play, and his bounce play is really very good. Some of the strikers just don't keep the ball well enough for their team when it's jammed forward.
Air directing traffic. Slipped in behind for Musi. And Toussaint, I'm guessing at this point, has been told, wherever Musi goes, you follow him tonight. He is everywhere, dropping all the way back to the byline on a couple of occasions now, understanding the danger that that man possesses. Airds abandons the corner, and Sergio Camargo heads to the near post. This is Musi's. Bevan tries to go underneath it, but missed. Second time he gets a toe to it. Adonijah Reed on the ball, but Bevan slides with a great tackle to take it back. Musi a second time in. That was a fingertip stop from basket. That looked like it might squeak through.
Just grabbed that, didn't he? I think that's a little bit of the sun as well. Really still unsure why they took the into the sun side.
My only possible explanation for you is that they'd rather him have that in the first half than the second. This is an hour earlier, the kickoff, and it'll be probably right in Marco's eyes in half 2.
With the stand, the bigger stand that they built on the other side, there is a moment where it just gets blocked out entirely. So they know better than we do, though, since they're there all the time.
Dadaluk intercepting the ball from Sergio Camargo, but Dadaluk keeps on bobbling forward. Camden leaves a little bit extra in, as does Josh Hurd. Bodies all over the turf here in Langford.
Probably 4 fouls you could have called in there, and none of them called, but let's let it ride.
This is Reed. Successfully kept out wide and taken off the ball. Now Camargo.
This is the problem, right? If Reed goes out there as the 10 and the turnover's there and they can transition it, you can bounce it right back in. They've recovered well, but
Intigney with his low center of gravity keeps his feet.
5 white shirts move out that direction.
And that was lazy from Sergio, and it's going to cost him a yellow. Pacific frustrated, they wanted to go quick, but the referee with his back turned and reaching into his pocket wasn't going to allow that fast restart anyways.
Camargo just deciding I need a break. I was just, there's nothing. Didn't dispute it. I'll take it. I need a breather.
Generally, Mr. Bowman lenient with his cautions. Averages less than 4 per game, which for the CPL is quite low. Reed trying to swim around Kabza, then gets caught in the defensive midfielder's feet. There is no way around Eric Kabza. You must go through him.
You talk about Toussaint on Moussi.
Right.
It looks like Camargo, despite being a ball winner, has an awful lot of time and for Aparicio. So he's been given a job off the ball as well. Look.
Well, they are wearing black today. It's only fair that he is somebody's shadow. Didic was looking for Daniels, intercepted by Cobbs, and now Mosi. Does that come up and catch the hand of Thomas Mayer-Jaguer? The referee certainly thinks so. Mayer-Jaguer adamant that it was his shoulder. And this is right in Ali Moussi territory. One of the reasons why Mayer-Jaguer is incensed. Here's our look. It's tough to say shoulder when your arm flaps back like that.
It certainly is. Not a happy boy, though, so.
Well, Moussi, the Mogadishu, Somalia-born, Winnipeg raised forward. He loves these moments. He lives for these moments. And not long removed from a golazo. I think Jesse Daly, if he stays beside the ball, it's just because he wants a front row seat. This is Moussi's if he wants it. Camargo comes over to provide a scouting report. And unsurprisingly, Kieran Baskett committing 5 bodies to this wall. Moussi, the man with the mission, up and into the wall. On it again, and blocked Vliet is fired up that they were able to prevent that from being a highlight reel goal against them, but now they have a corner to defend.
Easier said than done. You got to get around Didic. Oh.
We can just go low to Camargo, apparently. Make it 3 set plays in a row now.
5'6", Manny Aparicio's on the outside of that wall, or the inside, should I say. It's probably the area you want to go to, but then you have to have real whip.
Musi needs a break. The out-swinging Aird takes, looking for Dan Klomp. Daly helps extend this possession for Cavalry. Kobza completely unmarked, and now he's noticed and passed to. Out wide, that floats over the head of Cedric Toussaint wonderfully. Down goes Camargo. And they're going to give that foul against Cedric.
Last season, I think he's been hit in an area that we shall not mention. Last season, Pacific, worst in the league on set piece, corners, goals against. This year, really cleaned that up. There's been some serious work on the training pitch. Not sure how many goals they have against, but I can tell you that it's way lower than last year, and it's definitely more difficult for teams to score.
And that's well and good, and you're right, but that doesn't mean you want to give up this many through 25 minutes. Asking for trouble against a team like Cavalry. Aired again off the back of the head of Camargo. Kobza, a touch. Sent away by Dadaluk. Daly fakes across, keeps it low. Working with his partner, Kobza. Daniels lurking in the shadows, as is Adonijah Reed.
We saw Hundle last night working his socks off. This Meyer Bevan, no stranger to some work off the ball.
Switched by Vliet. It will eventually make its way to Josh Hurd. Dadaluk. Hurd bombs on. Daniels. Kobza working relentlessly, but can't tackle his man off the ball. Aparicio, clever looking 1-2 with Saloof. More bodies on the floor. It's Kobza this time. Reed looking for an opening. Chima, last minute, pokes it away.
Well, we got a whistle. There could have been another 7 or 8. He's certainly letting them play. Ouch.
Come from that side, you have to be clearly all ball and watch the trailing leg as well.
Surprise, surprise, Mr. Daly on a sliding tackle from behind.
I also have no empathy whatsoever for these guys when they're limping after a hard challenge when their shin guards are made of Bristol board.
2 popsicle sticks, slip them down there.
2 is generous.
1 each side.
That's, yes, 1 per leg is right. After a sea of Cavalry opportunities, Pacific's turn on a free kick. This is put in perfectly. Didic can't place it. Pacific up in arms. Cavalry quickly going away from goal.
I think he felt that was in. Or at least tried to convince them. Didic getting his head on everything, every single time. Absolute nightmare to deal with.
So I'll ask you the coach question. When you're preparing for Pacific, how do you attempt to draw anything up or any kind of game plan to keep him off the ball on set plays?
Well, number one, you need a guy like Kobza to be in front of him and blocking. Like, it has to happen, and they're not doing a good enough job of that. Number two, you have to have then someone attacking the ball like Klomp. If he's going to be the target every time, you might have to put 2 there, leave someone else open, but everybody else then has to man mark or do their job in that sense. Right now, they need to block so his run's not so easy to the ball.
Aird stymied, Pacific clear, but the ball stays in play. We'll show you Pacific shouts. The next stoppage of play. Almost through 28 minutes.
And obviously on the other side, you're going to do everything you can to free him up. So different runs, different blocks for the defenders to free up Didic so he can get his head on it. So it's 2 counter purposeful things, and Calgary's not getting the job done right now on their set pieces.
Well, an opening and a heavy pass, which is a rarity in transition. Pacific usually absolutely clinical in these moments. Let's go back to the free kick. Didic in a sea of black. Carducci, his body is well behind the line. I think that first angle was better, but certainly not conclusive. Didic thought he had another.
I don't think it was in. It's certainly not enough anywhere else, and that's in.
Well, that's just it. I've always appreciated those explanations from coaches. Yes, we can be frustrated, but we could just avoid the situation. Put the ball to either post, and we don't have to debate whether it was in or not. Well, it is quarterfinal weekend in the Gold Cup. AT&T Stadium playing host to tonight's quarterfinal ties. Panama defeating Qatar by 4-0 coming up in just a few minutes' time. Mexico and Costa Rica. That is on the One Soccer main channel for those interested in tuning in or adding a second screen to your evening of football. Tomorrow, Guatemala and Jamaica. USA and Canada, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, respectively. Of course, One Sock will have a full match day live pregame, postgame, and halftime. Aparicio to the left side, deep cross, and Hurd has to adjust his run. Antigone sprints back. It's going to go off the hand of the Pacific skipper and bring a halt to their advance.
I'm not 100% sure he has got that the right direction, but nonetheless, Calgary football.
Two shots apiece, one on target apiece. Highest danger scoring opportunities coming from corners and free kicks. So many of these stats near identical. Passing accuracy, shots. Cavalry have opened up a little bit of a possession edge over Pacific.
And I think you're seeing Pacific start to get closer to people, and so they're having more difficulty getting over the halfway line, though. So having some possession between Carducci and whomever else is one thing, but this is where they need to have the ball up in this end.
Musi hobbles away as he took some studs to his foot as he helped turn possession back over. Bevan to the wing and makes a run towards the corner flag. That was seen by Manny Aparicio, and he nullifies that passing lane. Klomp accelerating forward, and Antigone.
I would bet that that's talked about. Can they get dribbled past one line quickly, get Reed and Daniels out of the way, and then start building? It's definitely Klomp that they want doing that.
Jesse Daly recognizing Kabza as well, that he will have to play center back a few occasions tonight in those moments.
And there you saw the 4-4-2, and that opens the space for Kabza. So Daniels and Reed showing up all of a sudden opens up Kabza to turn and go forward. Then they have to be able to do something with it, of course.
Didic to Aparicio. Better ball for Kunle Dadaluk, one of his first times foraying this deep into Cavalry territory. He's won a corner for the Tridents.
We talked a lot about it on our game against Pacific, how wide Mayor Jaguar and Didic are, and opens that space to counter on, but it's a short field. But it really does help them in possession, get people like Dadaluk really high forward. And it is, you end up dropping and dropping and dropping your wingers to protect that. Doesn't make it easy to attack then.
Pacific win their first corner of the match. It'll be Adonijah Reed on distribution. Watch big 55 in teal. Outswinger from Reed. Mayor Jaguar goes again. He thinks he was jammed. Pacific are staying deep. And a few no ways as they have to return to position. They thought that they were going to go again.
Nothing threatening these keepers yet, but the game has been pretty enjoyable.
Will, you've mentioned it a couple of times, but yes, it is a markedly smaller field here at Starlight. 105 by 65 meters, that is. It's about 115 and 71 yards.
Yeah, you know, that 10, 12 big yards, you don't think it's noticeable, but it's difficult to play in behind then. So you have to find different ways. And so Pacific's done a really good job of, obviously Salouf's had quite the season, getting their fullbacks forward. Didic and Giguere can then jam up the field because, you know, Basket's cleaning up behind them. And it's their home pitch, so they know it better than anyone. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it changes dramatically. That's the beautiful thing about having different fields and different types of surfaces. That's why home field advantage is supposed to mean something.
Okay, is it true that, or let me ask you this instead. When was Swangard last cut before your game against Valor? Speaking of home field advantage.
Yeah, no comment.
Just as you say, it's within your control. You take advantage of everything that every variable that is available to you, you try and manage.
You know, and a lot of the grass guys will say they leave it long because they don't want it to die.
Yeah, they're just protecting the grass swell.
Just protecting the grass. It's all good.
Here's Antigone. This is a nice sequence from the Cavs. Bevan was offside, still offside, but Kobza's not. And Kobza has found the open net.
Broken play, of course. Exactly how they wanted to go. Hey, listen, Bevan not going for that actually helps that happen. Everybody stops except for Kobza. Bevan makes a little movement towards it, doesn't touch it. Perfect. Good, cool finish as well. Well done for the young man to finish that.
The former Calgary Dino, the former Vancouver Whitecaps man, and the North Van boy has his first in the Canadian Premier League. He starts this sequence with Antigone, and it's just switching off. Well, maybe he wasn't onside. I'm not fully convinced. That's a high line.
Bounces off the opposition.
Not intentionally, though.
Today it was. Goal stands.
And you know what? We can't change the call. I will say, what a calm, cool, and composed finish from a player known more for his defending than his attacking. His first in the CPL and the first goal of this match with about 10 minutes to go in the first half as Pacific concede the opener again at Starlight.
I think James is having a conversation with the fourth, discussing some of the rules we just talked about.
That's right. All the way down to Carducci, toes at the top of his box.
I know there's still a long way to go in the game, but a little shout out to Chima, come back in the lineup. Played within himself, safely.
Antigone blows the tire, can't recover. That's a great shout, though. And he knows he's on borrowed time with Callum Montgomery's impending return. Chima, the young man, still just 21 years of age, at times just trying to do too much, and no position on the field benefits more from the keep it simple method than center back.
And listen, Tommy's talked about it with other players, like wanting to bring them in slowly and surely. I'm sure he wasn't intending to just jam him in there and have him have to have all those minutes. Obviously, Callum Montgomery being out changes that. You know, took a break. Kobza took a day in there, and he's come back in, and he's playing well. I think one of the methods on this field is maybe to get guys like Camargo and Musi to play together really closely, keep it on one side of the pitch to open up the other side rather than switching it so fast. This kind of play right here.
Bevan again helping link up. Musi over the top. Cut down with a brilliant slide from Amir Didic. Change of speed, change of direction. Bradley Vliet still marching forward. Pacific should have the advantage, and they do. Aird can shout the foul was not against him, but he did prevent Pacific from still moving forward. It's a no doubt decision for the referee as Reed is fouled.
By our guy.
Serves us right. That's what we get for complimenting anybody. You're not allowed to compliment me until full time.
Hey, if you're gonna ask a center back to take a foul, do it up there.
Also true.
Slough been quiet. They've not got him in the game. I think they could benefit from the same thing we just talked about with the Cavalry, which is to just link up a little bit more. Just start playing together a bit on the same side, open up the other side. Everybody's switching it so quickly that it's easy for the defenders to switch. Just shift over.
Carducci keeping Cavalry ahead by one. That stop on Didic, so far his big moment of the night. Tommy Wheeldon Jr. full of praise for Meyer Bevan when asked about his recent run of form. He said Meyer's probably the most efficient striker in terms of his goals per minute that I've ever worked with. He said he needs one chance, you give him one chance and he usually takes it as a defender. And I've played as a defender myself, Tommy reminds us. You think you've won the battle and then suddenly they got one chance and you're like, where the hell did that come from? Uncorked.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience. It's a certain mindset, and you know, the biggest one in the world right now is one Mr. Holland. Touch the ball 15 times in a game and get 2 goals. He doesn't care about the other 13 times. Doesn't care about getting 40 or 50 touches. A lot of midfielders need to get on the ball. It's a real valuable trait to have a guy who just wants one touch to get his goal.
Daniels helping extend this trip into the attacking third. Watched by Kobza, finds Reed, cuts it around. Huge tackle from Chima. He got him right this time.
Great block. Daniels is one of those guys who needs a whole bunch of touches. He's the polar opposite to Bevan.
Ungaro's a similar type.
Agreed.
77% of Cavalry's matches this season they have scored in the first half.
Early doors, they were letting in a goal late to kill a lot of momentum that they'd created during matches where they'd been the better team. I think their growth has been trying to close the door. Not easy against this crew.
Dadaluk and Tigney. He was beat clean, but he recovers with a great tackle. And now he's flying down the wing. He wanted the ball. Camargo didn't think he's going to be able to get it to him in time. Now Kobza. He's tackled off by Daniels. Now Josh Hurd. Camargo makes a challenge. Edge of the box. Looked like he leaned into the Pacific skipper first. Referee says continue.
That is a foul in real time. He came from the wrong side of him. Not sure it was in the box, but that is a foul.
The Pacific supporters let the boos rain down. Musi deals with Slough. Oh, he's dealt with Vliet. Kobza, Daly, and now Aird. No teal shirts around Fraser Aird, just a little chip for Camargo. Bounces once, crosses it over, Didic into the stands. We have a moment, here's our look. Hurd around.
100% that is a foul. He's come in, he's not got anywhere near the ball. He's lucky he didn't get another yellow for that as well.
That's right, he is the only player playing with a caution at the moment.
Very lucky. I'm not even sure why he's done it.
Panic? Is my only explanation.
No, I mean, that is
I know it was a rhetorical question, but I'm just trying to fill in the blanks.
That is a foul. I think it was outside of the box, but oh my, taking a chance there for sure.
Well read from Pacific, sliding.
There's that little link play though.
And now Aird to the middle for Bevan, backheel. Here's Aird! Fraser Aird makes it a second! Meyer Bevan with the sexy little backheel, and Fraser Aird makes no mistake. First time, and Cavalry have opened a 2-goal cushion late in this first half.
This is outstanding. We're talking about it. We're trying to get them to link, trying to will them to link up with little movements. And they did it, won the ball back on a second, and then look at what happened here. Aird, he's hit some bangers in the history of this league. This is a well-placed shot. Link, back heel, top shelf. Fantastic with his bad foot. Love that.
Does he have a bad foot is the real question.
Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it at all.
We have Cobbs' first of the year. We have Fraser Aird's first of the year. Nothing for basket on either of those. Well taken from the Cavs, and you could hear a pin drop at Starlight Stadium right now.
Which is very rare. Just before that, they just linked Moosey, Camargo, Aird, and they'd lost the ball. Cobbs had won it back, played it again. And that's the way to drag out Pacific as well. Look, here we go again.
Surely Pacific can't concede a third in the first half. This is trouble, though. It's Moosey running at Mayer Jaguar. Basket palms that down. Had to make that stop, and he did. What is going on with the Tridents at the moment? It's lazy, it's inefficient, and it's costing them.
That is a match-saving palm out by Basket. Incredible stop, actually.
Antigone got that in behind. Bevan wasn't prepared for that to reach him. He thought the defender in front was going to do the job.
Look at Moosey. He's looking at the stars. Can't believe that didn't go in. What a save.
Enough action for an entire 90 minutes in just 46. 3 tacked on as added time in this first half. Do Pacific have another stoppage time goal in the first half? Make it feel a whole lot better heading into halftime. Salouf's a good man to try and create these moments. Reed. Parallel across the face of goal. Jammed up Dan Klomp and Josh Hurd. Now Moosey springing over the top. Bevan's going to get there. He's either going to have to take this on himself or stall. Bevan fires! Tight angle and not missing the far post by very much.
Oh, look at this, bounced off the ball. Nothing in that. What a stop that is. Great angles. And see why he's taking the gloves from Gazdoff. It's good with his feet, calm. No, not his fault on the 2 goals.
Certainly not.
And then Bevan's come down just afterwards. Took a shot on from a weird angle, but didn't miss by much either.
Righty on the right side, tough to try and make that angle work.
I like the tempo change here by Calgary as well. Just to slow it down at the back, drag out Pacific, get some space on the smaller field.
Antigone accelerating into the open space. Daly sandwiched by Reed and Aparicio both. Salouf wants the ball from Daniels. It's a well-weighted pass. Iman Salouf into the box. Antigone dispossesses him. Tidy bit of defensive play. I don't think Antigone stopped running for the last 60 seconds. He's leading Cavalry forward. And that is going to be advantage as Antigone is stapled. Moosey working on the Pacific center back. Moosey turns the corner, trying to keep it in. Bevan, as that deflects around, a glance at the assistant referee, and they're going to give the goal kick. That was a loud, powerful foul on Gonte Antigone, and as we reach halftime, he's going to need a moment before he's able to walk it off at the end of a very long sequence. You're going to hear it
How was he not gone back and talked to him? That is a foul all day. He's basically gone right through him there.
Well, it's definitely a cautionable offense, and if that yellow card is brandished between now and halftime, we will certainly let you know. But at the moment, everything going right for Tommy Wheeldon Jr. and Cavalry. Kieran Baskett keeping his team alive with a late stop. But Kobza and Aird have the visitors leading by 2-0 at halftime.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I cried away.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
We created Carlsberg 00 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
"45 minutes in the books, the second match of the week. Match day 13 in the Canadian Premier League. So much happened in that first half, although we have to get immediately to the highlights. Cavalry on the road to Starlight again, starting quick, less than a minute in. Gaute Antigny from basically the corner flag. Great stop from Kieran Baskett. That's going to be a recurring theme. Then this, Thomas Meyer-Shagir deemed to be offside, and he's probably lucky that the flag did come up because that's a sitter.
Chances at both ends right away. Fantastic.
No time to settle in. Jairo Daniels keeps himself, well, he can't be offside on a throw-in, and he sneaks in behind. Everybody forgets about him. And Adonijah Reed nearly able to capitalize. More from Reed. Goes out wide to Saloof. The return pass. Reed has to shoot that. Tries to get cute, and Jesse Daly takes the ball away from him. More from Amir Didic, the closest that Pacific came to scoring. on a perfect delivery. Didic goes at Carducci. His body's behind the line. We're not convinced that the whole of the ball crossed. Wasn't given anyway, so it doesn't matter what our thoughts were as we get to Cavalry finally getting on the board. Meyer Bevan knows he's in an offside position, so he leaves it. Ricocheted around. Kobza starts this sequence off. Antigone tries to go back. Kobza runs on. Was he played on by Dadaluk? We're not entirely sure, but what we do know for sure is Eric Kobza has his first professional goal, and Cavalry would not look back. More from Daly here. Well, he was absolutely everywhere in this first half.
Yeah.
And then the back heel Bevan, that's near perfection.
It's just fun to watch. Really great link play. Outstanding. Left foot, side of the foot. Little celebration that Eric always does.
And then it almost went from bad to worst. Just how we started the game. Kieran Basket at the end of the half. Palms away from Musi, who put Thomas Meyer-Giguère on ice. It could have been 3, might have been more, but Kieran Basket keeping his side alive, though they need a huge response in half number 2. Let's take a look at the stats. Cavalry with 7 of them through 45 minutes, 4 of those on target. Just 1 effort on target. That was, of course, the Didic header from 5 shots for Pacific. Nearly 60% of the ball from Cavalry, 8 fouls apiece. Camargo is on a yellow for the Cavs. He is the only one to have been booked from them. Thomas Meyer-Giguère was given a yellow just a couple of minutes later. 88% passing accuracy from the Cavs, 87 from Pacific. Second half coming up shortly. Let's take a look back at some previous match highlights in the CPL before we get there. Leans into Kwok, keeps his balance, and now Hundal sprung Filion out of his goal. Hundal can try a quick shot if he wants it. Also has Kintab. This is Hundal to his left. Cut back Kintab. Now he goes. Still Kintab for Kwok. Across and Batar taps it in. Halifax lift their arms in a desperate appeal for offside. Booting the ball away is Cameron, but it's collected by the men in the white shirts. Headed to the back post. What a response! Thiago Coimbra!
Woohoo! Here we go.
Try and catch them if it opens. Martinez spun inside out. It's fair and again. And forward. Sneaks it in behind. Watson was who we wanted to play the ball to, but it was stuck in a sea of boots, and Vancouver flipped the script. Kwok gets his service this time. To the middle, plays it across Hundal, and Kintab, Mickey Kintab! His first for Vancouver! And what a timely moment to get on the board! Unselfish again from Sean Hundal, their leading goal scorers, playing assist man today. Kintab, Romeo, and Kwok. It's Mickey up and over, and that is a worldie! No, is it? I thought that was in the nets. Alou to Gagnon-Lapare, arms outstretched, he was wide open. Now returning the favor, great looking ball, swatted down, Irving misses, and Usama Alou scores the first goal of the match. Mo Babuli, who says Usama Alou, he gets the start in that number 10 position and gets the goal. We're at the point of the season, Will, where things, storylines, runs of form, wins and losses, they start to mean something. No longer as, oh, well, it's early. Hang on a second. Here's Hundal, the immediate response. 2 broken plays and goals less than 90 seconds apart. And it's the Vancouver number 9 teaming up with Anthony White. Lovely ball outside of the foot from Kintab. Sean Hundal looking for the brace. Kick save and a beauty from Nico Giansopoulos. Di Rosario completes the pass to right. Now return. Di Rosario, a shot. It bounces around, but it bounces in. Callum Irving fooled on a deflection. And the 2 striker setup pays off for Martin Nash.
Kobza playing at that center back position is interesting, but it's probably more worrying for people who are watching than it is for the coaches.
Here's Bevan from Aird. It gets caught up in his feet, but he's still able to redirect it past Ryan Yesley. His league-leading 7th goal of the campaign.
Cobb's a veteran CB, blocks for days. Here we go again.
He'll be tested once more. Gutierrez, the cross in towards the spot, Niagaberry.
I'd love to see him go at Camden. Now that Alua and him have missed.
Oh my word, goodbye, says Gote and Tigney. And here come the reinforcements. Offload, Camargo, how has he missed?
We've seen that given before.
Well, we'll look for more angles, but the pressing thing right now is the corner, and Debrienne, who stands over the ball, hurls it in, and Ulloa inside the 6 and unmarked.
That's exactly what you want from Jesse Daly at this time of the game. Still grinding the yards out, winning the ball.
Ben Fisk wide open as he enters the 18-yard box. His cross to the back post, and it's in. Tigney goals in back-to-back games. And he's put this out of reach. Cavalry are going to take the full 3 points, and Valor will be left stunned and shaking their heads. Cavalry with 3 wins in their last 4 matches, and if they get the full complement of points, and it would take some kind of drastic change to not, they would go second in Trail Pacific by just 4 points. Second half is coming up in Langford.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
It looks like we're headed towards
And many people's dreams of owning a home.
What's keeping you up at night?
I'm kind of stressed about my money situation.
Oh, it's stressful to talk about.
Oscar, come here.
Here's your financial stress companion.
She definitely helps.
It's never too late to start.
Good portfolio.
With saving for my first down payment.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I hide away.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
The mood for most Pacific supporters, I'm sure, seeing their side being thoroughly handled by Cavalry after 45 minutes, but it's okay. there's still 45 minutes for that supporter to try and have something to cheer about. The foot soldiers who made the trek to Langford will be hoping to see more of the same. And yeah, it started to feel like a match missing the presence of Sean Young. James Merriman does not hesitate to bring him in off the bench. That is the one change for both of these sides. And we will carry on with Pacific kicking off this second half, needing to find two to split the points or risk losing for the first time since April 30th of this season. Their only defeat through the campaign thus far. Gennaro Daniels is the one to make way. That'll put Adonijah Reed up top. He'll play as a false 9 for the most part and see if that makes a difference. Here's Gauthier Antigny in the clear at basket, who makes another incredible stop. 19 seconds into the half. Would have been the fastest goal ever to start a half in CPL history as Gauthier Antigny continues to dazzle. Hi again, Will.
Oh, that is a fact. I mean, everything about this is great. He's placed it really well, hit it very hard. What a save, strong arm. Peskett's keeping them in this right now.
Would have been goals in 3 consecutive games for the 21-year-old out of Coaldale, Alberta.
What's even better is where he's come. He's come from the left side all the way across, and that makes it really difficult for Pacific to mark.
Aird, the most recent goal scorer, into the box basket, misses, but the defender at the back post bails him out. That is 2 grade A scoring chances for the Cavs 1 minute into the second half.
Shima gonna put himself into the history books there.
Pacific need to do anything to try and slow Cavalry down. Easier said than done, I know. Toussaint trying to spin and keep control.
I think it's the right move, putting Young on. Surprised he didn't start. He's been excellent this year. We need to get Salouf in this game big time. Hurd's got to start pressing more. They have to get back to their identity and put some pressure on Cavalry when they have the ball.
It is a 4-2-3-1 for Pacific today.
Great shape right now by the Cavalry. It's going to be hard to break that down. They've got 2-goal lead to protect. They can counter all day long now.
And it was more of a definitive 4-2-3-1 instead of the usual attacking 4-3-3 that they like to play. Vliet, Merziger, Didic, Kunle, Dadaluk left to right at the back. Aparicio, Toussaint, and Sean Young now in midfield. Salouf, Hurd, and Adonijah Reed make up the attacking contingent. Wearing their teal alternates. They wear more than their purples at this point. Might as well be their primary. Hurd across with no one around. Salouf closest to Aird, lost track of him. Sends it over the line for a throw in, and now Cavalry will have to defend with the sun in their eyes as they attack the net to the west end of the stadium.
We now know exactly why they chose the other side.
Kicked off at 6 p.m. local time, sunset not until 9:19. Daly doesn't come away with it the first or second time. Here's Salouf. Ayman Salouf cuts it back, has to shoot. Reed, why is he not shooting? Twice now. Aparicio gets the scraps. Does that catch the hand of Daly? Scott Bowman thinks so. Took a minute to make up his mind and elects to give the penalty. Nobody is happier than Adonijah Reed.
That is an understatement of the year. That was chaotic. What a start to the second half. Reed hit the ball, put it in the net. Look at this.
Bends the run perfect.
What a pass.
First time hit it.
Right there.
Carducci's being blocked by a teammate even.
What a block by Kobza too, knowing that there's a chance.
So Josh Hurd took the penalty against Atletico Ottawa. It was saved. So I am not surprised, no disrespect to Josh, that he is not going to be given the penalty. Aparicio has Pacific's penalty so far this season. It was a penalty to the low left against Callum Irving. Marco Carducci facing a penalty for the second time this year. Not his strong suit. And Manny Aparicio can give Pacific a chance when they really don't deserve it at the moment. Aparicio, but he puts it over the bar. Adonijah Reed doesn't shoot on a wide open net, and Manny Aparicio skies it. That is 2 missed penalties for Pacific. And now Marco Carducci is trying to keep Bradley Camden away. Not sure what spawned that.
I think Camden was the one that went bounced Aparicio after missing. It's all fun and games. Oh, he's gotten right under this. He's looked up just as he's shot. Shima celebrates like he just won the Champions League. Fantastic chaos again. We definitely have our own league here, don't we? Canada.
It's a misconception that people think that it's the Canadian Premier League. That's not what the C stands for.
Reed, we didn't need the penalty. Put it in the net.
Well, an incredible stop from Eric Kabza as well, who has a goal and a goal-saving block. Hurd is booked for sticking up for his teammate. That's a yellow card he'll take every single time. And again, no disrespect for Josh Hurd. Shocked that's his first of the year in match number 12. He's a player that plays on the edge with a lot of passion. It's often where those cautions come from for him. We could have had 3 goals in the first 5 minutes.
Just the 5 minutes, eh? Just the 5 minutes. Basket first. Arducci's lipping off the ref. It's all happening here. Let's play it around, take some sting out of this.
Nice tackle from Kabza on Reed again. Camargo in behind Bevan. Myers pointing to the space in front of him. That's where I wanted the ball.
In Camargo's defense there, you could say that Bevan does sometimes, one of the things he does do is run away from the goal. If he could just stay in this spot, sometimes he'd be able to bouncing it back off. Moosey's running as a third man. Likes to be busy though.
Well, we know of the tie that binds Pacific and Natsamat FC together. Give credit to your Rovers where it's due, Will. 2-0 win today. Goals from Kyle Jones, Masoud Habibullah. You guys want that Wanda Fuka plate, don't you?
Big time, and big shout out to the ladies too.
6 for 6, right?
Slayed a dragon by beating Natsamat, so good for Chelsea Hannison and her crew, and Darren Rusher and the boys. Fabulous, fabulous weekend for the Rovers.
6 points out of 6 is pretty good for both programs.
Love it.
Reminder that coming up tomorrow, more in the Canadian Premier League. It is an unbelievably busy day. Atletico Ottawa and Valor from 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central. And we have Guatemala and Jamaica, the Gold Cup quarter-final from 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Then we have more CPL, York and Forge, our match of the week, in fact, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And USA and Canada from 9 p.m. Atlantic to round out the day. It will be another match free to view on YouTube, just as this one is tonight, York and Forge.
So you're probably going camping then, eh?
Yeah, they definitely gave me the day off tomorrow. No hesitation. If I was going camping in BC, maybe. The weather's been unbelievable the past couple of weeks. Not so much here in Ontario today. One Soccer Studios. Chima to Fraser Aird.
Aird's doing an awful lot to make the loss of Alarcon really not felt. He's bossing people around, telling them where to go. He's done really well today.
It's Antigny time. Couple of step overs. Dadaluke doesn't bite. Antigny pulls the trigger from a tight angle. Again, lefty on the left side. Tough angle and basket not required to make a save this time. Be so easy for Dadaluke to just leave a leg in here, wouldn't it?
Good Lord, is he a nightmare to mark. But well done by Dadaluke. I think Dadaluke's not afraid of his pace, despite the fact that there is some there, because Dadaluke is quite fast himself. What he's probably worried about is the fact that Antigny can go left and right on a dime, which is really hard to do at that pace.
It's been quite the journey for Antigny. This is his second season with Cavalry. Previous club, the FC Grimma in Germany. Nigerian-born, moved to Alberta when he was 6 years of age. Antigny's did. As Vinny Jr. is his favorite player to watch, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Noted.
Vliet, the former Cavalry man, facing off, against his former side for the first time. The left back for Pacific. Here's Antigone again. Dadaluke drops into his position. Gauthier change of pace. Daly unmarked. Does he fancy a shot? No, it's a pass for Musi. Steps on the ball, loses it, and now Salouf trying to accelerate away. Musi is lucky he did not foul Ayman Salouf, otherwise it would have been an easy yellow card. Nine players on the park right now for Pacific. Canadian, the other two Dutch. That's it, the only nationalities represented.
But like all Canadian teams, lots and lots of different ancestries. A lot of them football nations too.
Sean Young for Dadaluke, and he takes a bump. I don't think it's a foul on Antigone, but Camden might have gotten away with one. The frustrations for Pacific supporters continue. Young in for Adonijah Reed. Chima goes barreling through, stays with Pacific. Here's Salouf. Does he just shoot himself this time? Into Daly, who once again closes down the lane. He's been brilliant defensively once again. Charged at by Manny Aparicio, and Mr. Bowman decides that that was an unfairly timed challenge coming from the back and leading with the foot.
Which is why we can't figure out why Camargo's wasn't a foul at the top of the box in the first half.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the more puzzling moments. It's a different game if he's sent off for 45 minutes for Pacific, and would have been before the goal as well. The second goal, that is, of course.
I think Salouf's gonna have to get going here, or he might be coming up to our 60-minute coaches mark here.
Give Kakuta Mane a 30-minute run, perhaps.
Well, someone has to get going somewhere.
No doubt foul on Vliet against Meyer Bevan, and I'm curious if the referee saw an elbow or a forearm into the back of the New Zealander's head. Try and play detective here.
Might have hit his head on the ground.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's definitely a foul. Nothing more than that, but a head in the ground. Bevan now for Cavalry, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 goal contributions, and he had one in the Canadian Championship against the Pacific side as well. Airds can't complete that pass. Guess who, though? Daly steals it.
This was a great job of screening. Just kind of that busy bumblebee guy. Tackle his grandmother.
I believe that. That's the best part. If she had the ball and it was a fair challenge.
Totally. Nothing. No yellows.
There are 5 players on the ground right now, and it's an advantage for Pacific.
Daly the ball, everybody else the pins.
It's too slow, and in behind of Antigone, Dadaluke into the box. Antigone careful not to foul, and still the one to come away with it. Kobza pounded by the man-wearing teal, and Camargo just blows a tire. And he's almost delaying a restart. I'm not sure that Sergio remembers that he's on a yellow. He was smiling when he went down, and then he got an inadvertent stamp from Dadaluke. That took the smile off his face pretty quick.
No shortage of events going on in this game, which is making it quite fun to watch.
I don't know that Kieran Basket would agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like for there to be fewer events.
I'm not sure he's been watching. I think he's been active.
Very good point. Into the 60th minute we go. Dadaluke again. The offense been running through his side for the last 10 minutes or so.
That's what I'm saying about Salouf's side. I mean, Dadaluke's doing it down, but got to get the other side going as well.
Klomp clears, goes to Dadaluke.
Toussaint's been a bit quiet today as well. In fact, I'd have to say the midfield for Cavalry have certainly outplayed the midfield for Pacific. And that's probably the difference.
I would agree, and that's a rarity for this side.
Agreed.
Speaking of rarity, only 1 goal conceded from open play in the previous 4 games for Pacific. Cavalry not wanting to hear anything about that. Looks like a double switch for James Merriman. Will bring the substitution totals up to 3. Adonijah Reed replaced by Easton Ungaro. Cedric Toussaint will make way as Stephen Yates comes in, both in the 61st minute. 3 of the 5 changes for Mr. Merriman, leaving only Kekuta Mane, Paul Amidume, and Georges Mukumbila on the bench.
Yeah, we just mentioned Toussaint being a bit quiet. Looks like Merriman thought similarly. In comes the blonde hair of Yates. Hopefully we can get that a little stabilized and get them going forward.
This has been Pacific's secret weapon all season, though, is just when you've figured out, like, you've stymied Pacific, you're dominating the game, they go, we'll give you a completely different look to try and contend with, and that can be a way back in.
Yeah, definitely the opportunity to have a plan B, so to speak. I would imagine there's a few more crosses going to be coming in for Ongaro to attack, which is how he succeeded really well in Edmonton. He's struggled a little with the possession play that Pacific are wanting to play. He's not a hold-up striker just yet. Could be, maybe should be.
Maybe should be.
But I would say at this point of the game, a few more crosses coming into him will suit him just well.
Stephen Yates tried to cut inside. It goes off the side of the foot of Camden, and it's back with the men in black. Dadaluke takes it away, and Tigney, a fistful of Kunle Dadaluke shorts. That's an easy yellow to reward. His 4th of the season, and Tigney will miss Wednesday's match against Atletico Ottawa.
You have to say Dadaluke has been the one trying to get this thing going. He's done an awful lot in the last 10 minutes. Get down the line, cause problems. I don't know if you saw it on your screen, though, Ongaro making a nice run in between the 2 center backs, both of them dropping. That's the type of thing that he's going to bring to the table right now.
Stephen Yates, I think, got away with a pick as well. That looks great on the basketball court, usually not allowed on the turf of a football pitch. I see a few of them here for some tall targets for Bradley Vliet. Pacific trying to narrow the deficit, and they can't find anyone in teal. Aparicio has the safety valve. Gets to the loose ball, Salouf. Defended by Bevan, who jumps, opens a lane for Salouf. Here's the cross in, Carducci. He jumps into the sun, it's a hope and a prayer. And when he lands with the ball in his hands, probably a sigh of relief.
This is the first time Salouf's got by. And the thing that's disappointing is he's dropped that just too close to Carducci. Ongaro wants that tacked at. Here comes the press. They're gonna have to go now. It's gonna leave some space. It's gonna leave some space for Intigne. Watch that counter. But Pacific are gonna have to go if they want to get something out of this match.
Uncharacteristically wasteful from Aparicio, and with the inclusion of Young into this game, that allows them to play with 2 8s instead of 2 6s. Aparicio has been unlocked, and he will be free roaming. Sean Young really is able to do that, play the job of 2 defensive midfielders.
Totally. I mean, I think I've seen him as striker this year. He's played out wide. He's a great player, but I think you're right. I think their press should often be led by Aparicio. He's so dynamic. Sometimes he gets a little bit complacent back here. If he's going up with Hurd, really difficult to play against when they're going at you without the ball.
This is Josh Hurd, and wasted at the very end. Good play between he and Dadaluke till that turnover. Camargo wins the race to the ball from Manny Aparicio and cycles it back for Fraser Aird. Bevan He's in a race, sprinting, tongue hanging out of his mouth. Just got to get to the ball, but Bradley Vliet beats him to it.
Always impressed with Bevan's work rate. It's just incredible. Just keeps running, smiles, gets back into place, does it again.
Dadaluk, who was looking for Ongaro, who I don't believe has had a single touch since coming into the game. Not that they haven't tried to find service his way.
See, I'm not sure why Yates and Hurd and Manny Aparicio aren't going right now. Like there's 25 minutes left, sitting back in a block. Cavalry will do this all day. Take time off the clock. Very un-Pacific-like.
Jesse Daly puts himself in harm's way. That is a bang-bang 50-50. Both players going in for the ball, and because the Aussie wins it first, that foul is going to go against Aparicio, and both of them are going to feel the effects of it.
Oh.
Knee on knee, elbow to the tailbone of Aparicio. Daly gets crunched. Nobody wins there.
I think Manny's hoping to not get a yellow. Stay down longer. They'll both get up. Two of the smaller frame guys in the league that play like they're the size of Didic.
Short kings is the word you're looking for.
Two of the most enjoyable players to watch in the league for different reasons. That they're very committed players, which is, you talk about tactics and techniques and all that, but committed players are very often first on the list for a coach like Tommy and a coach like James.
James was asked, Tommy Wilton Jr. was asked about the fixture, and he had said, we've got some things we know can nullify and expose them. So that's what makes this particular matchup so good, so exciting. Adding, it's been nice that this West Coast derby, because we've been at each other since day number 1. Joe Mason will be added to the game. It's about time. 67 minutes through is about all that they let Sergio Camargo go. They've done a very good job managing his minutes, trying to keep him as healthy as possible for as long as possible. And also with Sergio on the yellow, he still makes it to the finish line, perhaps a little bit lucky to do so, and Joe Mason can take the baton the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's good to see Joe Mason back. I think he'd talk about these two going hammer and tongs against each other for, what is now into the 5th season. What's great?
This is great, I'll tell you that. Let's finish that story in a moment. Dadaluk, heavy touch, lets him down Klopp. Back to Carducci. Carducci trying to pass through the press. Daly. And please continue, Mr. Krum.
Yeah, what's good about these is it's two well-organized clubs. So the players change, the system doesn't, so you get better and better year on year. Few of these clubs have chopped and changed coaches and things, and it's, out of necessity, but it's like they're starting again. These two are two of the most stable clubs, and you can see the quality on the field is better.
Oh, that's clever to let it ride, and Garo fires! Deflects, and that's a corner. Huge, huge moment.
Between Ongaro and Reed, this is a great dummy here by Manny. Look at this. Right there, bang. Just a little slow. Faster than Reed, mind you, but little slow. Just didn't get it out of his feet. Another last-ditch block by Calgary's players.
They have to start being more efficient with these set plays. Into the 69th minute. It's too deep. They're looking for Didic again. Right back in the mixer from Vliet. Redirected on frame by Hurd.
It's not for lack of chances. It's lack of ruthlessness, maybe.
Moosey, speaking of ruthless, sends that high and wide. Well defended by Pacific. Mayor Jaguar thought there was a handball beforehand.
I think you've seen a couple of people getting rested here and there by Pacific, namely Hurd, Young, and I think they played so many minutes early in the season. It's just actually catching up with them, and that jump, that little bite, it's gonna be difficult when they go on the road. Got to get those two going again, big time.
Ayman Salouf back and centralized. His pass out wide for the skipper, Hurd. Hurd waits for reinforcements. It's a great cutback pass. Carducci dives left and denies Sean Young. Perfectly placed strike. Carducci screened by everybody in front.
That's what we're talking about, ruthless. He's just scuffed this a bit. Earlier in the season, he's taken one like that and he's popped it top corner. And you expect him to do that actually in that position. Great play again by Pacific. Sloof's getting the ball more by going inside, which is good as well.
Didic turns the ball over to Kabza. Daly was asked to do too much. Should have been a simple pass, was anything but. Salouf. Ayman Salouf. The player of the month for June. His cross in. Again, Cavalry claiming everything in the air first.
Doing an awful lot of defending now. I think this is what Tommy's trying to get rid of, the attitude of the game is done at the 70-minute mark when it's not.
Off the head, Aird has to clean it up. Up for a Pacific corner. They've definitely turned the tides and are on the front foot, posing the toughest challenges and asking a heck of a lot of questions of this defensive unit for the Cavs. Corner taken short. Now it's into the box. Cut back, chasing it down. Aparicio. Is that a handball? Looked like it caught Cam down the cross anyways. And Easton Ungaro on the doorstep. A borderline alley-oop, and Pacific have life. Easton Ungaro in the 72nd minute has his 4th of the season, tied for the team lead with Salouf again.
I mean, this all starts from a corner where Calgary's switched off. They've let them take a short corner. That could have been handball. He's done ever so well to dig that out. And there we go. There's what we're talking about with what Ungaro's actually very, very good at. You know, he's going to get on the ball. Don't have to hold that up. Knock it in. Game on.
How about the assist from Aparicio, too? Put it in a spot where only Easton could get, and Manny's pride still stinging, I'm sure, from that missed penalty. He's helping to spur Pacific on. We could be in for a wild final 20 minutes and change, folks.
I'll take it. It's been a wild 72 and 30.
Ungaro, here's the hold-up play you were asking for. It's Kikuta Mane who was added just after the goal. His first touches of the game going right to work. Young, Mane, cross, Klopp, keeps his arms away off the shoulder. Pacific corner. That looks like Kikuta Mane. It is Kikuta Mane.
I don't think Cavalry's going to be able to withstand sitting back this deep and not keeping the ball, not playing. They just stopped playing. This cost them a lot of points early in the season. Sean Young delivering.
Sean Young delivering indeed. Charging to the ball and off the back of the head. And not quite able to locate that. Just trying to cause confusion in front. That's basically the only way to beat Marco Carducci.
That's an incredible flick. Someone's got to be coming on the back of that. That's actually a set play. Jaguar gone in. He's flicked that perfectly. Back post hasn't read it. Surprised to see a guy who's 6'2" like Sean Young taking the corner.
Ungaro again holding. Big slide from Chima. The referee spotted a foul. If he's going to give it, surely he's going to give a yellow as well. Sean Young not backing down. Here's the feistiness we've asked for. Hi, Kieran Basket. He's in the melee as well. Sean Young shown a yellow. Kachima cautioned on top of it. The temperature rising heavily as Manny Aparicio got two-footed by the Cavalry center back.
Oof, that is a bad tackle.
I'm not sure how that's not a red.
He certainly should have got the yellow for that, and then maybe a yellow for the problems that he's had with Sean Young afterwards.
And maybe that's what Young's trying to do, other than stick up for Aparicio, is bait him.
That was definitely in the mature yellow category.
Amber, perhaps? An amber card. So Sean Young, I should add, that is his 4th yellow card of the season, but this is the first time I've had the chance to explain the updated good behavior incentive rule this season. He had 3 yellow cards in the first 8 matches of the season, but was not booked since. If you go 5 games, Canada Soccer will knock one of those yellow cards off and basically pretend like you are on 3. It resets the total. You can have that twice in a year, so Sean Young will not be missing out the next game like Antigone will for Cavalry for his 4th.
Wow. Now that's a rule. Now that's a rule. I gotta write that down. Where's my pen? Where's my pen?
Welcome back, Shamit Shom. He checks in for Cavalry for the first time in quite some time. He'll be added as Ben Fisk will for Shamit. His 3rd appearance in Cavalry colors, his first as a substitute back from an LCL strain. He wears number 26 in black. Ben Fisk had an assist for Cavalry late in Winnipeg. Let's see if he can do it again today. There is Shamit.
Good for Shom. Welcome back. That's difficult. You're on your own so long.
Tough too, you get to a new team, just get settled in, and an injury knocks that balance out. Mason's first touches of the game. Antigone still has energy to burn by the looks of it.
They're gonna need Mason and Fisk here to put some pressure to the ball and start getting the Cavalry up. Mason should be doing an awful lot more work right now. Fisk will do it. 15 minutes of work. Shom's in there to hopefully lock down the midfield a bit more.
Young. For Daniluk. Low and leading on Garo. Bounces around Daly. Backtracking, meets it at the penalty spot and clears it away.
Pretty sure Ongaro's not looking for that to his feet.
Will, do you like a random stat?
Yes.
So, Easton Ongaro, the 2nd all-time leading scorer in Canadian Premier League history. That number, since you asked, Will, 28 goals. He has never, or excuse me, I shouldn't say never, he has only 1 brace in his CPL career. Just 1 in those 28 goals.
Wow. I would have not thought that.
Teaching you the CPL rulebook, I'm giving you some pub trivia.
I've watched him up close in training. He's come and trained with the Rovers while he's between clubs. The boy can hit the ball with both feet really well. Certainly everybody looks at his size. He's not the most broad guy. He gets into the right spots. He's a goal scorer. Just needs a confidence run here. Chima is really walking a line right now. He's certainly in this game. I think he's got to watch himself. He's got to play on the edge as a center back, but there's a penalty possibly in this if you go too far.
I think Chima's walking that line after a few drinks, maybe. Very wobbly.
Tilt?
No, the island walker.
Oh,
come on.
No parallel 49s, I guess.
Chance for Pacific to tie, and it's Bradley Vliet once again, and it goes off the back of the head of Camden, and that stunned him. Head injury blows the whistle. He was dazed immediately. He spun, Cobbs has spun as well, and that caught him flush.
Ouch. I've seen an awful lot of these where you go, there's a guy who's taking and milking this. Nope. This man is not milking that one.
One bit.
I might actually stay down on a knee.
I don't think I'd wake up for a couple of days.
Yeah, he got up pretty quick. Wants to stay on.
That's a trooper.
See, but I mean, he actually wants to stay on because of the time of the game, but because the ref blew it, he has to go off, even though it wasn't his choice. And he's saying, it wasn't my choice. However, off you go.
A reminder of the Gold Cup quarterfinal tomorrow, Canada and the US. And on the One Soccer YouTube channel, an hour before that game kicks off, Forge and York United are match of the week, Atletico Ottawa and Valor, and a CPL doubleheader. A quad header, that's not a word, but we're going to work with it. 4 games tomorrow on the network.
Big one for Canada. I would say a huge one for York and Forge as well. Those.
A foul will go against Yates as he gets tangled up with Jesse Daly. Put in another brilliant shift. I'm going to be honest, I was a bit skeptical when Elliot Simmons was announced to not be returning to the Cavs, but little did I know that they found this fantastic Australian that made it look like Simmons never left. Here's Antigone. Kabza. Outside to Shom, his first touch is back in the lineup. This is exactly what they want. Possession in the attacking half. Keep Pacific off the ball. Easier said than done. Mane forces a turnover. Plump had to lunge forward and make sure there was no pass to Mane. Otherwise, Scooter would have lived up to his nickname, and maybe we're looking at a tie game.
That is an unreal tackle in that type of moment. That one little mistake we keep talking about with Chima. Fortunately on the halfway line, not in his own box, as we may have seen a couple times before.
Back to Carducci, away from Mane, and that will go right to Airds. Thought he kept it in play, and lets the assistant referee know that he thought he kept that in play. Working their way back towards the attacking third. Yates dribbling on his right foot. Defended by Shom, who bounces him back into midfield. Didic. Dadaluk. At the byline, sends that over the boards, and he goes with it.
Just decided to take out a couple of his own fan favorites and then slam into them.
Another move for Tommy Wilden Jr. here in the 83rd minute. Antigone will be replaced by Gareth Smith-Doyle, a young Canuck for another young Canuck. And Antigone, he's not going to have that goal in 3 straight matches, but he was a difference maker again for this side, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the guy that pushes the defenders back and creates space, even if he's not totally on it at all times. You have to watch him.
Also won all 3 of his tackles in a defensive perspective as well. Gote leaves the game with 1 chance created, 28 touches, and completing 13 of his 16 passes.
He's fun to watch. I think he'd also kept Dadaluk at bay for a while. Obviously, Pacific's pushed forward, but keeping Dadaluk back is a very good tactic.
Expected goals in the game, 2.58 for the home side, 1.22 for the Cavs. That comes from 27 combined shots, but only 4 of those have found target from Pacific, 6 from Cavalry. Ongaro off of his head to Yates. Ben Fisk collects the loose ball. His pass goes under the foot of Mason, who would love a second chance to try and control that.
think Mason's just working himself back into this. He's not quite as ruthless or as annoying, if you will, on the press just yet. Bevan's been a great replacement, but if those two could get going and together, man, that would be a hectic front two.
Fisk wins a foul against Bradley Vliet.
Good to see Fisk healthy again as well. Good professional.
I wanted a reason to bring this up. The teams look so different from their very first meeting. It was back in the Canadian Championship, May 15th, 2019. Ben Fisk was wearing number 10 for Pacific then. Also starting that game, Marcus Haber, Isi Nakajima Farron, Zach Verhoeven, now of Atletico Ottawa, Matthew Baldissimo, now of York United, Alessandro Hojabrapur, now of Forge, Caden Chung, now of Vancouver, Lucas McNaughton, now of Nashville SC, Ryan McCurdy, Blake Smith, and Nolan Worth was in goal for Pacific in that game. For the Cavs, Giant Sopoulos, the goalie, Nate Mavila, Joel Waterman, Dominic Zator, Malik Hamilton, Mauro Eustachio, now the assistant coach at York United, Carlos Patino, Julian Boucher, Oliver Minitel, Nico Pasquale, Jordan Brown. It's wild that it's been 5 years and so many of these names have come and gone. It's unbelievable.
Some good players in there as well.
Very good players in there.
Oh, that's sort of what we were just saying, though. I mean, some stable clubs doesn't mean the players stay the same, but the system, they come and go. Everybody knows that they're trying to add value each year. Obviously, guys retire or move on or get sold. But these two clubs have been at it, and they're doing a good job off the field, which I think is what makes it better on the field.
Victor Laturi and Gabby Bitar had been on the bench for Cavalry in that game. It goes on and on. Taryn Campbell for Pacific. Wild.
Yeah, Bitar, I forgot that he was a Cavalry guy.
Nicely tackled off the ball by Sean Young. Mane wanted the pass, didn't get played it. Ben Fisk tackles the ball. Sean Young thought there should have been a whistle for a foul, and none was given. Fisk's 12 assists, tied for 5th all-time with Jose Escalante and Taryn Campbell. He's one back of Sean Rea for 4th. Kyle Becker, 16. Marco Bustos had 18 between Valor and Pacific. And Tristan Borges, the all-time leader, in 21.
Sean Rea in that list.
And 2 seasons of work.
Wow. Really good player.
88th minute, time is running out. Carducci takes an extra touch, and Easton Ungaro, his eyes lit up. The Roman wall clears it away safely. Joe Mason trying to steal the ball, can't get a foot to it. Didic towards Sean Young. Gareth Smith-Doyle, another foul, another challenge from the wing without a foul, and a hard tackle from Dadaluk. Chima back towards Carducci. That was so close for Ungaro again. Playing a dangerous game. You understand why you want to take some pressure up by going to the back, but remember where Ungaro is and the fact he's 6'7".
He's getting a little skittish right now, Chima. The tackles in the game. On the edge stuff. Used to have a coach that told some of the center backs, especially a long time ago, get the ball and give it to the guys that are good.
Or the guys who have a chance to score. Eric Kobza, Bullen and China shot. I'm honestly struggling to think of a man of the match because there have been so many candidates for Cavalry. Eric Kobza,
that was well played. Carducci, very good. Bevan certainly ran miles, could have scored within 30 seconds.
Created, yep.
Love the link up of Musi and Camargo, and I think that's a special combination in this league. And I think getting a third guy moving in and out of that Intigne would be a guy where you talk about him going, if you can connect with those two, that's impossible to mark. You never know what they're going to do.
Well, an impromptu drinks break for the Cavs into the 90th minute. Georges Mukambiwa is in for Josh Hurd. I mean, you could, if Pacific were to come back and tie this game, I think Kieran Basket would have to win man of the match retroactively. Like, it's been one of those games. He's been brilliant.
Yep. Agreed.
Not been dull by any stretch of the imagination. Not that these games ever are. 124 in Pacific Club history. Only 7 times they've drawn 0-0. There's goals when this team plays.
Which is why we come.
Into stoppage time now, and a big number, 6 minimum minutes. Cautions and melees and fouls and injuries in this second half. That doesn't feel too inflated. Aird and Fisk. Fisk trying to run around Bradley Vliet, well defended by the left back. Fisk holds him, and Vliet tried to graze that off a Cavalry player, but failed to do so. Sean Young to the loose ball in his own penalty area. Garrett Smith-Doyle.
Didic is now a striker. So we have Ongaro and Didic up top. Manny is
a center back.
Center back.
Here's Shamit Shom, unable to find Joe Mason, and Aparicio is cramping. He is sore, but he doesn't want to whistle. He wants this play to continue. Ongaro, as Didic tried to set him up. Shades of Mandrakar James and Langley just a couple of weeks ago, but that was for an entire half.
And the chaos continues.
Ongaro has to jog it in. Carducci finally forced to pick it up. More than just his match-winning goal, at least as it stands, but Fraser Raird has helped completely nullify the left side for Pacific, winning tackles, winning just about everything. He takes home our Gatorade performance of the match as well.
Yeah, Saluf didn't have a game. Like I said earlier, replacing a Spanish player like Alarcon on a regular. Aird's been there, done that, but the performance he's put in, not just replacing him, but actually being the man of the match, is exactly what Tommy's going to want with an injury to Alarcon.
And if you hadn't missed that, Roberto, a hamstring strain that's going to keep him out for a while. Back at Atco Field, I remember he had come back on crutches, and you knew that it was probably not a very good sign. He was actually giving notes to Fraser Raird before a corner. One of my funniest trivial moments of the season for me thus far, but they're expecting him to miss at least 3 months. So Aird's gonna have to stay fit and roll back the years a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? Aird is no fun to play against. He's a nasty piece of work at the best of times, and when he's on with his feet, he can be something else. He's got a strike, obviously, with his left foot here today. We've seen him hit bangers, though, from miles away with his right foot as well.
Dadaluk is down and needs some treatment, and whistles to bring the Cavalry trainer onto the pitch as well. Chimo went down and writhing in pain.
Guys are putting in miles here. The cramps are starting to happen.
Head-on-head knock. I don't know how his calf hurt out of that. He could have gone down with his head and got his whistle right.
He landed and cramped on impact. Listen,
the impact cramp.
He's had a good game. The last 10 minutes, the tiredness, those mistakes that come in with your brain, has started to creep in a bit, but good for him. Center back is a really difficult place to play. Not everybody is going to be a Klomp right away and come in, or a Rocco Romeo. It takes a while to get used to that position. Kudos to him for stepping up today, and he's going to go 97 minutes or so.
Quite the find for Tommy Wheeldon Jr. out of the former Burnley Academy man. He was born in Italy, Padova. He then moved to London when he was 6, and he also has represented Nigeria's youth national team. Tommy loves a project, and he's had success developing center backs, hasn't he?
What a recruitment office.
Vliet, another long toss. We might even see 7 or 8 minutes with that extended treatment for Chima. Sliced by Shamit Shom, played back in by Mukum Bilwa. Fisk doesn't get to the ball. Meir Jaguar plays it high. Meir Jaguar, second time. This time it's blocked by Daly, and Fraser Aird clears.
Defensive line of George, and that's it.
It's a 1-7-2 or 1-7-3 at the moment. KG as they quickly work it back into the Cavalry penalty area. Mason goes to contend for that against Bradley Vliet, and Ben Fisk tries to slip away unnoticed.
Man, he can't even move right now.
No, he is.
Man, he is done.
Every muscle in his body is cramping right now. He is limping. And there's no more subs. No, he's stuck out there.
On the defensive line, or wherever he can just get in the way. I think Meir Jaguar and Didic were in the up front with Ongaro there for the last 3 minutes. Hey, going for it though. Don't care if you lose 3-1. I'll go and try and get a point.
I think their plus 12 goal differential will survive if they concede one more.
It's interesting, both of these clubs are the only 2 clubs in the league that have a positive goal difference.
It had been an 8 goal difference. It is now 7. Jesse Daly stalling as much as he possibly can, and of course, just nudges it. Ben Fisk is going to go to his office by the corner flag. Game of keep away. It's a very violent game of keep away, but a game of keep away, and Pacific get their goal kick, and now the boys have to retreat. Basket goes short, and he might be going up too. Nearly through the 7th minute of added time. That was a bit slow back to Mukum Bilwa, and now Aparicio. Long ball ahead, into the mixer, headed across, it's Meir Jaguar, wins it down, and skies it. He had the game on his feet, but Cavalry survive. 7 wild minutes of added time. They had their chance at the bitter end, but Marco Carducci and company prevail in a thriller on Vancouver Island. Wow, what a finish. Here it is again, Will.
Oh my goodness, the exact guy heading it, and he's tried to take it down and just headed across.
Pacific lose for just the 2nd time this season, and the first since April the 30th, as Cavalry survive by 2 goals to 1. 2 in the game, Will, for him. The first one offside, a header. You feel for him, but he put himself exactly where he wanted to be. That's why you put the big boys forward. But Marco Carducci not solved more than the 1 time today, and along with the win for the club, he, as the goalkeeper, picks up win number 52 within 4 of Tristan Henry for the most all-time. Our VW moment of the match is the match-winning goal, and it's an incredible sequence from Cavalry, Will. Outside in, a 1-2, Bevan, Aird, and into the top corner. It was a lovely sequence.
These guys, we talked about them all. There's Daly involved, Bevan, and then Aird finishes it with the inside of his left foot beautifully. Pass, then move.
No doubter. The VW moment of the match. Fraser Aird's first of the season. The match winner. Well, Kieran Basket, I think this is one of the most impressive games I've ever seen from him in the Canadian Premier League. So much to do today as Cavalry put 6 shots towards him. He had 4 stops. This was the best, and it was immediate.
22 seconds into the game. Bang. Maybe 23.
Kieran Baskett helping to keep Pacific alive in the end. It would not be enough, but Baskett valiant in the losing cause. The reason for that losing cause, Fraser Aird. Well, at least he was the one to finish off the sequence. Fraser, it's Adam Jenkins, Will Cromack in the One Soccer broadcast booth. You take home our Gatorade performance of the night. Your first goal, just walk us through what you could of what you remember from that sequence. It was pretty with you and Meyer.
Yeah, obviously delighted to get my first goal. It's been a long time coming, obviously after a long injury last year, but more delighted with the performance, to be honest. Tough place to come. They're flying, top of the league. To come here and get 3 points, it's always difficult, you know, so delighted with that, and obviously delighted to get on the score sheet.
Fraser, it's Will Cromack here. Walk me through a little bit of the pregame in the dressing room. How are you preparing for a team like Pacific coming to their house? What are the types of things you're working on in that game to make sure that you can nullify their threats?
Yeah, we know they're a team that likes to keep the ball. I think we dominated them in the first half. We done exactly what they want to do to us, to them. We kept the ball, we played out the back, and that's how we created our chances. 2 great goals. Delighted for Kobza, one of my good mates on the team, his first goal in the CPL, and mine too. Just happened to come in a win, so it makes it even more special for us.
Fraser, lastly, Tommy had said after the Valor win that it felt like a 6-point game. I'm sure this is the same tonight, as you guys are just 4 points back of Pacific now on the same games played. But this run of form for you guys, 4 wins in 5, has something discernibly changed? Or for you guys, is it just the culmination of a lot of hard work early in the year and the wins and goals are following?
I think a little bit of both, to be honest. We've stuck to our principles. The managers demanded at the start of this preseason that we want to play. And when we don't play, we're disappointed because we have good enough players in the dressing room to do that. We're starting to change those draws into wins, which we were disappointed with at the start of the season. And it's showing, you know, we're sticking to our principles and we're playing, and the results are finally coming. The goals are finally dropping for us, and we're slowly creeping up the table. Not a lot of people talked about us at the start of the season, but hopefully after that big win today, they'll start talking about us and give us a bit of respect.
Fraser, you definitely deserve that respect, especially after the performance today. Back home to Calgary for 2 straight games. Congratulations on a big win tonight.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Fraser Aird, our Gatorade performance of the match, one of the many Cavalry players who were breathtaking in this game. The final numbers after 90 minutes, 17 shots from Pacific, only able to put 4 of them on target, 6 on target from 11 for Cavalry, who outpossess Pacific barely. The Tridents really turning it on at the very end. The expected goals, 2.93 from Pacific, just 1.22 for Cavalry, but they only care about the goals that went in because this is a huge victory. As we mentioned in the interview, it closes the gap to 4. You could feel like it's 12 points gained for Cavalry their last 2 matches, leaving Valor in the dust, and now the closest team to the Tridents, but York and Forge both with a chance to answer. Cavalry is going to be rooting for a draw in the 905 Derby, I assure you that. What a wild game, Will Cromack. Hope you guys enjoyed it on the YouTube channel or wherever you joined us tonight. It was a fun one, but as Cavalry, who survived by 2 goals to 1, we'll see you tomorrow for more on One Soccer.